Hi, I'm Sheri Davis, and like you, I'm wild about Washington. What could be a better Washington day? Up early and on the lower Columbia River as the sun comes up, waiting for the bite of a spring Chinook. Here's a fishing adventure you won't forget. Let's go along with two of our salmon experts from the WDFW Vancouver office. Take some notes because you'll want to join Joe and Will out on the river.
One of the things we do is we use cut plug herring, and on the herring we also put on a little herring oil. We use about a 30-inch dropper and generally a flasher. Oftentimes that flasher will be green, and we just basically troll in normally shallow waters. The chance to catch a spring Chinook coming up the Columbia River and the fight of a big fish and hopefully landing and taking one home for dinner. It's kind of a ritual here on the Columbia River. Spring Chinook are pretty much the favorites.
Well, we're expecting almost 500,000 spring Chinook this year, of which 360,000 are expected to go above Bonneville Dam. And that component is the second largest on record since Bonneville Dam was constructed in 1938. We're also expecting decent returns to both the Willamette and to the Cowes, Klamath, and Lewis rivers down below Bonneville Dam. And this is definitely time to buy a license and to go fishing. It should be a really good season this year. We're expecting a lot of fish. The fishery is for hatchery spring Chinook. They have to have the adipose fin clip to be retained. Any salmon or steelhead that has adipose fin intact must be released. So there's a new regulation this year, and you can't remove any steelhead or salmon from the water. You basically have to remove the hook from the fish while the fish is still in the water to help ensure its survival.
Here are some of the other fishing opportunities across Washington in the coming weeks. Fish science makes news this month as one of our hatcheries joins in the efforts to recover the oldest resident of the upper Columbia River. The sturgeon population above the dams has been in decline for many years. Working with Canada, we're hoping to fix that.
These are the first sturgeon that have been raised in Washington State to cover the population in the upper Columbia River. Today we brought 2,000 sturgeon down from Canada, and we're the first hatchery in Washington State to do this program to enhance the population above Grand Coulee, basically in the upper Columbia River. The reason why we're doing this project is we're trying to be in cooperation with Canada to increase the numbers in the upper Columbia because they have declined, and being these are prehistoric fish, we'd like to get the population back up because they're declining to the point where they could very easily go extinct. Right now they're averaging about 3 to 4 inches, which are bigger than what we were expecting to get them, which is great. And I'm assuming that they're going to be 5 to 6 inches when we release them in June. What makes sturgeon so unique is that they're a prehistoric fish, and we estimate that they can live to be 100 years old, and they've been around for up to 175 million years, which we believe is the oldest fish that we know of. It takes them a long time to become sexually mature. Females, it might take up to 30 to 40 years, where a male only takes 20. So because it takes so long for them to become sexually mature, it's important that we have an adult population to support so we can have juveniles in the water. What's really hard to believe with these fish, right now they're 3 to 4 inches long, and it's a very good possibility that some of these could get up to 19, 20 feet and up to 1,800 pounds. That's probably not too common, but we believe that there are some out there like that. The sturgeon are really important, not just so much for Washington, but as a whole. I mean, it's important for Washington State too. The fact that they're prehistoric, we just don't want to see them go away. It would be great to have a fishery on them in the Upper Columbia, but I think our main goal right now is to try to get the numbers up to where we feel comfortable that they're not going to become extinct.
So, how many cougar are there in Washington? We don't really know, but new advances in science may help give us the answer. There is now a method of marking these animals, sometimes known as mountain lions, that is much less expensive and much easier on the big cats.
Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife is started recently a DNA project to estimate mountain lion populations. And the way they're doing it is with this. It's a biopsy dart, and no drugs are needed. Basically, this is a dart that was developed for elephants and rhinos in Africa, and a gentleman over at the Bronx Zoo downsized the size of the biopsy dart to use with primates. And when I spoke to him on the phone and asked him if it would be a good idea for using it with mountain lions, he thought it'd just be great because the mountain lion has a muscular body, has short hair, and the DNA biopsy dart would work just great on it. So what we decided to do is we went to the sporting community for some help in estimating mountain lion populations. We got about 15 houndsmen on contract, and we sent them out into the field with a dart gun that was CO2 powered and some biopsy darts. These guys go out into the field, they use their hounds to tree a cat, they shoot this biopsy tip dart from a rifle, it hits the cat in the rump, it falls to the ground, it has a DNA tissue sample in it, they pick up the dart, they walk away. That capture session is now over. What we used to do is go through a lot of expense and effort to tag animals, to track them, to collar them, and now this eliminates all that because all we need is a DNA tissue sample. You know, so instead of us drugging the cat being out for an hour or so, taking a couple hours to really regain itself, all of its strength back and putting it at risk to other predators, this cat is on its way in less than 5-10 minutes. We couldn't have done this without the sportsmen and sportswomen of Washington getting involved, basically donated their time to this project, went out and used their expertise with their hounds to treat cats for us. This is basically a mark recapture study using DNA. So we hope to get some information on standing density of mountain lions right now in northeastern Washington, eventually heading west, and also what is the mountain lion population currently at. Those are questions that are critical to our management, and we need the answers as soon as possible.
Washington offers many wildlife viewing opportunities during the coming weeks. Here are just a few. When you stop by any dealer for your new Washington fishing and hunting licenses, be sure and ask for an entry form so you may have at least 4 chances of never having to pay for those licenses for the rest of your life.
The Department of Fish and Wildlife is offering a drawing for lifetime privileges. You can pay $6.50 for a resident application or $12.50 for a non-resident application. And your application number is good for 365 days from the date of purchase. So this year we're having 4 drawings within the license year. So your ticket gives you 4 chances to win a premium lifetime package. Your package will contain hunting licenses and tags for deer, elk, bear, and cougar, a combination fishing license that covers saltwater, freshwater, shellfish, seaweed, razor clam, and the new Dungeness crab endorsement, a small game license and the first turkey tag, your Western Washington pheasant permit, migratory waterfowl validation, and a vehicle use permit. All rules and regulations do apply. It comes to a value of $230 annually for residents and $1,130 for non-residents. But you get it free for the rest of your life if your application is selected. We have gotten calls from Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Texas, Arizona, California. We got a call from a gentleman in the Ontario Department of Fish and Wildlife the other day who actually wants to set up the same drawing for his division, his department. The proceeds from this will all go to the Wildlife Fund. It's all going to be dedicated back to the resource. So it will fund things like studies on chronic wasting disease in elk or fishery improvements, habitat restoration, all sorts of stewardship projects. You can go into any authorized licensed dealer and just ask for a drawing for lifetime privileges ticket. That'll be $6.50 for residents, $12.50 for non-residents, and it gives you 4 chances to win a lifetime license. What more could you ask?
This has been Wild About Washington, brought to you by the employees of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. Working together, we can save Washington's outdoor heritage for future generations. Thank you for watching, and please join us again.